Okay. It has been a tough couple of weeks here. I want to be real with you and share that even though I try to stay positive, keep up with good habits, be mindful in the things that I do, I still struggle sometimes. Just like all of you, we cannot avoid conflict. We cannot avoid challenges and hurdles in our lives. These are just things that happen no matter what we do. Um, Life is challenging. And so it's up to us, of course, to work through those and to figure out how to move forward and not necessarily stay stuck in those spaces. So, a recent series of events was a lot for me. I felt the weight of all of it. There was just a lot of worry, kind of some unknowns, um, and that gets to me. I am one who worries a lot about things, and I'm learning that worrying really doesn't help. I have to look at the situation with the things that I can control and the pieces that I do have some power over, I guess, let's say. um, so I backed away from some things, some stuff that I had been working on. I kind of stepped back from it and allowed myself to process everything that was happening. So again, it was just kind of a lot at once. And so it was something I needed to slow myself down in order to start working through these different pieces of what was happening. So sometimes we face hard things and hard feelings come along with that. And that's okay. It's valid to feel all the feelings, good or bad. Often we try to push away the hard things, we try to bury them, um, bottle them up, you know, and eventually they will come up. They will come out, and often in a less than desirable way. So usually if we are pushing things in down inside of us, we're not addressing it, we're not working on it, um, something triggers us, and then all of that comes out. And it may or may not be connected to the trigger, but that trigger was the thing that just released all of these emotions, these feelings, these thoughts, because we had been trying to kind of bury them. And that's actually where I started with meditation. Is I had been burying a lot of things, and I was miserable. It did not feel good at all, and I took it out on everybody around me. So this is why it's so important to address things as they occur, or allow yourself space and time to process and evaluate. um, Sometimes we hang on to feelings or situations, and there is no reason. It's just, this is something that happened, and for some reason, we are just like repeating it, replaying it, going over and over it in our minds for days or weeks, even. It could be even longer. So it's important to let that stuff go, because it will create problems in the future. On the flip side, it is important to acknowledge our quote unquote good feelings. I don't necessarily like to think of feelings as good or bad. Like, some of them, we're happy, we're joyful, those things, and some of them we feel sad and frustrated, and those are just more challenging for us. They're not necessarily good or bad. But it is important to acknowledge when we're feeling happy and joyful and all of those things. And sometimes we hide that, or we feel like guilty expressing it because other people in our lives might be going through a challenging situation. And so we feel like we can't express that joy or that happiness. And here's the thing, all of the feelings we have, each one of us has, are valid. Only you can walk through your experiences in life and have your relationship with that experience. And the relationship we have with different experiences does come out in our feelings. If something challenges us and we're frustrated, our relationship to that challenge is being frustrated. If something makes us happy, our relationship to that thing is feeling happy. So think of that connection of like, you're the only person going through this experience, and how you feel about it is completely valid. So too often we try to carry like everything with us from day to day, and we don't address it. So writing down things that make us feel good, writing down the accomplishments we had, the things that make us proud, sharing that with people, it's huge. If we don't ever like celebrate, we don't recognize our accomplishments and how much we do. I was actually just talking with someone yesterday, and it's like sometimes we feel like I didn't get anything done today. And then when we look at it and we recognize really how much we did do, it's like, wow, look at all this. Like, I did all these things. And we just don't acknowledge that. And the same thing goes for the more challenging things. Like, have a journal, write things down, do some meditation. I often look up meditation based on what I'm going through or experiencing at that time. So if I'm feeling sad, I'll find a guided meditation on dealing with sadness. And it just helps me, again, to process and give space and allow those feelings to come up and to come out, because if we don't, we end up literally carrying the weight of it in our bodies, in our minds, and it just becomes this consistent stress on our body, and that is no good at all. So, long story short, take care of yourself. It's okay to slow down and take time to work through hard things. It's okay to celebrate all of the amazing things in your life. We don't need to push ourselves so hard and so fast. We can stop and acknowledge what's going on and slow down to be more aware of what's happening in and around us. So I was really guilty of that. Again, as I mentioned, that's how I actually got started with meditation, was just this, like just burying things and never acknowledging what was going on and working through it. And it became a very, very challenging time in my life. So my reminder to you is that your well-being is the most important. Without it, it's really, really hard to enjoy the life you're given. It becomes very difficult. So celebrate the good, learn and grow through the challenges. Having this practice, having this part of your life, it's a game changer. It really, really does allow so much to come through when we learn to be mindful of this. We learn to acknowledge our feelings. We feel them, we process them, we celebrate, we learn, we grow, all the things. So if you need help with this, if this topic is like something that you're feeling called to dig into more, something that you feel like you resonate with, that you like were me years ago, reach out and I am happy to talk with you. I'm happy to help you get started in a way that works for you in a healthy way, and walk alongside of you as you start this mindfulness part of your journey. So that is all I have. It's okay to feel your feelings. That's your permission slip.